thank you for the warm welcome. Could I just ask, who was here last time, like last month, when Vasco was giving a presentation about an online learning? There we go. Okay, so actually I work with Vasco, and what they gave the presentation about, I will actually show what the product looks like, what's the full platform that they have been building these packages for. So first, let me answer the question, what is Learning Circle? So Learning Circle is an online education platform which we have built entirely in Meteor over the last 4 months. And I think, I'm not a developer, but what I can say is that everyone who I have worked with has said, I cannot believe that you are building this so quickly. And I think that this is one of the greatest things about Meteor and my experience with it as someone who's working with really talented developers. So I wanted to just tell you a little bit more about Learning Circle. Then I wanted to show you a few functionalities. And then finally, I wanted to talk to you about the question of open sourcing, because actually I would love to talk to as many people as possible about what do you think would be the best way to open source this platform, because so far we haven't published the code because we've been working quite quickly. And it would require a bit more documentation, I guess. But okay, so am I okay to present? All right. Okay, so Learning Circle, it's a platform. So how does it work? First of all, the whole concept is, because I frequently get asked questions, what's the difference between this and Coursera or this and Moodle? So let me address this right away. We have a very different view on what it means to be learning. So it all comes back to a student-led model of education, where we don't try to focus on kind of someone teaching you something, but really focus on you learning a new skill. And really focus also on learning, on kind of cherishing the differences between different students and allowing them to be flexible with what it is that they're learning. So this comes with a lot of chaos that we try to manage, and this is what the platform does. Another thing that we're trying to do is we're trying to get together learners from all over the world, and then we try to put them in a course that has a scale of a MOOC. We haven't really tried the scale of a MOOC yet. We've tried with 200 students. But it should work for a scale of a MOOC, but really give it a very personal feeling. So dividing the learners into groups of 10, where you can actually chat to people and feel comfortable, and then groups of 100, where you can actually follow a flow of a conversation and of assignments, and you can actually see what's happening. So yeah, but of course we have like some standard components of an online classroom, like video lectures, but they all happen in real time. You ask questions, and then we have live sessions with other students, and then also students have some level of contribution, whether it's blogs and projects. And projects actually is the last, but I think the most important distinguishing factor of this platform, because we actually try to focus the learning on doing something useful. So we started with partnering with an international group of schools called United World Colleges. And the main objective of these schools is to build a more peaceful and sustainable world. So the students in the course, when they learn whether sustainability, human rights, are actually asked to scaffold the project and make it happen in their communities. All right. And then finally, so it's a platform, as I mentioned. We build this, or we're starting to build this in a way that anyone should be able to set up their own community and set up their own courses on this platform, or maybe in the future as a completely separate standalone website. So a few things that I actually wanted to discuss. So I wanted to discuss, first of all, because you're working with a is there actually the platform that I have already signed into? Yes. Here we go. So here is what the platform looks like from an admin point of view. So this is like the global admin. So you have a class where you can see on a dashboard what's happening. You can filter it by weeks. You can filter it by kind of assignments. Apparently nothing happened in week 1. You can look at the content that students have prepared, so you can see what has been done just in your class or in your course overall, or overall of all the things that have been published on the platform. You have the courses, which you can manage, you can change their descriptions, etc. You have communities, so right now we only have set up this one online UWC community. And then you have like a whole management platform behind where you can set tasks and put people in groups, change the overview of the course, manage applications that come in, and mentors and all of the other jazz that one may have. But actually, so now that I've given you an overview, I actually wanted to talk about some of the most complicated things that we were faced with doing. The first one was the question of how do you put people in groups? Because if you have if you would like to have the students participate in live sessions, if you would like to have students from as many countries as possible, or as much diversity in your group of students as possible to really enable kind of this global learning, then you have to deal with a lot of scheduling issues. And when we organize these courses first kind of by hand, so using Facebook and Gmail and whatever else, it was quite difficult to actually schedule the time. It took lots of time. So we built an algorithm that separates applications as they flow into groups of 10, kind of trying to figure out, try to put a person from a different country but the same time zone and with the same preference for a session, and then create as many of these groups as needed. So that's actually kind of an interesting mechanism that we have worked on. The second thing is we had to work a lot on integrating Hangouts, because if you are in an actual course, so I think this one we might already have some. No, we don't have sessions yet. But basically, you would have a session here that would tell you, at 4:20, I have a group meetup, so I need to connect to it. So you would just click, and then this will take you straight into a Hangout where you can chat with your friends in other places. And that actually was quite a complicated integration to do, even though it was supposed to be simple. So if you would like to chat more about that, always happy to say more. And then because we decided to not opt out for grades in the course, we wanted to do something else. So I guess the whole concept was to create a way for students to share what they have learned. So everybody has this public profile that they can share that demonstrates all of the things that they have learned about, or any kind of reflections that they had, as well as community projects that they have participated in. So now I guess would love questions and would love some comments from you, because we haven't, as I mentioned at the beginning, we haven't open sourced anything yet, but we absolutely will. The question is when and how, because I would just love to know, in the Meteor community, is there anybody else who is working on any education-related activities, who would potentially be interested in collaboration on this project? And then would it be more useful to open source the whole thing or just some functions? Yeah, I guess then under what sort of a license? So, thank you.